My boyfriend said I was just for fun after 5 years together while his ex was marriage material. His cousin proposed 6 months later. I was sitting across from Nathan at our favorite Italian place when he said the words that shattered everything. We'd just ordered appetizers, and I was telling him about my promotion at work when he interrupted me mid-sentence. He said he'd been doing a lot of thinking lately, that his ex Brittany had reached out a few weeks ago, that talking to her made him realize something he'd been avoiding for years. I asked what he meant, and he looked at his water glass instead of my face. He said I was fun, that our relationship was easy and comfortable, but Brittany was different. Brittany was marriage material. I sat there feeling like someone had poured ice water down my spine. 5 years. We'd been together for 5 years. I'd moved cities for him, changed jobs for him, spent every holiday with his family instead of mine, and I was just fun. I didn't cry at the restaurant. I waited until I got home, and then I cried for 3 days straight. My sister came over with wine and tissues and told me Nathan was garbage and I deserved better. My mom called every morning to check on me. My friends sent angry texts about karma, but here's where things got strange. Nathan's family kept reaching out to me. Not him, his family. His mom Linda sent me flowers with a card that said she was thinking of me. His younger brother texted asking if I needed anything. His aunt dropped off a casserole like someone had died. At first I thought they were just being kind. Maybe they felt guilty about how Nathan had ended things. Maybe they disagreed with his choice. But then I noticed the pattern. Every single family member who reached out mentioned the same person. Nathan's cousin Marcus. Linda's text said Marcus had asked about me. His brother said Marcus wanted to know if I was eating. His aunt mentioned that Marcus had been the one to suggest the casserole. Marcus and I had always gotten along at family events. He was quiet, worked as an architect, and always remembered my coffee order at holiday brunches. But we'd never spent time together alone. He was just Nathan's cousin. 3 weeks after the breakup, Marcus called me directly. He said he'd heard what happened and wanted to check in. His voice was soft and careful, like he was approaching a wounded animal. We talked for 2 hours that night, about Nathan, about the breakup, about how I was rebuilding my life. Marcus listened more than he spoke, asking questions that showed he'd actually been paying attention for 5 years. He asked if I wanted to get coffee sometime. Just as friends, he said. No pressure. That coffee turned into dinner. Dinner turned into weekend hikes. Weekend hikes turned into movie nights at his apartment where we'd talk until 2 a.m. about everything and nothing. Nathan found out we were spending time together and lost his mind. He called me screaming about loyalty and betrayal. I reminded him that he'd dumped me for his ex. He hung up, but Nathan's reaction wasn't what confused me. It was everyone else's. His mom started calling Marcus constantly, asking about our plans. His aunt kept showing up with more food whenever I was at Marcus's place. His brother started making jokes about wedding bells. The whole family seemed almost relieved, like they'd been waiting for something. I asked Marcus about it one night, and he got quiet. He said his family was just happy he was happy, but the way he said it felt like he was leaving something out. 4 months in, I started noticing details I'd missed before. Old photos at his mom's house where Marcus was looking at me while everyone else looked at the camera. A birthday card from 3 years ago where he'd written something and then scratched it out. The way his hands shook slightly whenever he touched my face. His sister let something slip at a barbecue. She said it was finally happening after all this time. When I asked what she meant, she changed the subject so fast I got whiplash. I started asking around. Nathan's brother got uncomfortable and said I should talk to Marcus. His aunt pretended she didn't hear me. His mom just smiled in a way that made my stomach flip. 6 months after Nathan broke my heart at that Italian restaurant, Marcus took me to the same place, same table, same view. He ordered the same appetizers Nathan and I had ordered that night. Then he got down on one knee. He said he'd loved me since the first time Nathan brought me to Thanksgiving dinner 7 years ago. That watching me with his cousin had been the hardest thing he'd ever done. That when Nathan finally ended things, his whole family had told him it was time. I looked at the ring in his hands, and suddenly everything clicked into place. The flowers, the calls, the casseroles, the way everyone had been pushing us together from day one. Because that's when I realized what Nathan's family had known all along. The rest of the story is on my channel, or linked below. I stare at Marcus, still kneeling in front of me, ring box held aloft in trembling hands. The restaurant around us fades into a blur as 7 years of memories suddenly rearrange themselves like puzzle pieces falling into place. You've loved me for 7 years? My voice barely rises above a whisper. Since the first Thanksgiving I came to? Marcus nods, his eyes never leaving mine. You laughed at my dad's terrible jokes and helped Linda in the kitchen even though Nathan just sat watching football. The waitstaff hovers uncertainly at the edges of the dining room, clearly unsure whether to approach with congratulations or give us privacy. An older couple at the next table watches with undisguised interest. This whole time, I say, my mind racing through every family gathering, every casual interaction. The entire family knew? Marcus closes the ring box slowly and sits in the chair across from me. Not at first, but eventually. Yes, I wasn't exactly subtle. Nathan figured it out years ago. Nathan knew. The betrayal cuts deeper than I expected. 5 years together, and he knew his cousin was in love with me the entire time. Can we get out of here? I ask suddenly, needing air, needing space to process this revelation. I can't. I need to think. The drive home is silent. Marcus offered to follow in his car to make sure I got home safely, and I didn't have the emotional energy to argue. I grip the steering wheel so tightly my knuckles turn white, his words echoing in my head. I've loved you since the first time Nathan brought you to Thanksgiving dinner 7 years ago. Watching you with my cousin had been the hardest thing I'd ever done. When Nathan finally ended things, his whole family had told him it was time. Time. Like they'd been waiting. Like they'd orchestrated the whole thing. I pull into my apartment complex and sit in the car for a long moment, watching Marcus park beside me. When he approaches, his face is a mask of anxiety. I know this is a lot, he says as we walk to my my door. I didn't mean to spring it all on you like this. I unlock my apartment and turn to face him. Did you ever plan to tell me the truth about how your entire family has apparently been plotting this for years? Before he can answer, my phone rings. Nathan's name flashes on the screen. I almost decline the call, but something makes me answer and put it on speaker. How could you? Nathan's voice is slurred with what sounds like alcohol. With my cousin? Are you fucking kidding me? 6 months and you're already engaged to him? Nathan, I start, but he cuts me off. I knew he had a pathetic crush on you, but this is a whole new level of betrayal. Did he tell you he used to follow you around family gatherings like a lost puppy? Did he tell you how he'd ask about you constantly? Marcus's face flushes red. I stare at him, waiting for a denial that doesn't come. You're drunk, Nathan, I finally say. And you're a backstabber, he spits back. Both of you. Have fun with my family. They obviously prefer you anyway. The call ends abruptly. I look at Marcus, who seems to be finding the floor particularly interesting. Come inside, I say quietly. We need to talk. My apartment still has remnants of the life I'd planned with Nathan. A photo I missed when I was purging memories. A book he'd given me still on the shelf. Marcus sits on my couch, hands clasped between his knees. 7 years, I say, pacing in front of him. You've been in love with me for 7 years and never said a word? What was I supposed to say? And the family? Linda with her flowers and her thinking of you card? Your sister's comment at the barbecue? Your aunt with her casseroles? Were they all just waiting for Nathan and me to break up so you could swoop in? Marcus runs his hands through his hair. It wasn't like that, at least not at first. Then what was it like, Marcus? Because from where I'm standing, it looks like your entire family was playing matchmaker behind my back. They saw how I felt about you, he says quietly. And yes, after a while, they started hoping things might change. But nobody orchestrated your breakup with Nathan. He did that all on his own. I sink into the armchair across from him. Did they vote on it? When to end my relationship? His silence is answer enough. Oh my God, I whisper, the reality of it hitting me like a physical blow. They actually discussed when Nathan should break up with me. It wasn't like that, Marcus insists, leaning forward. When Nathan started talking about Brittany again, the family thought maybe it was time for him to be honest with you. For everyone to be honest. Except you, I point out. You still didn't tell me how you felt until tonight. I was terrified. He admits, for 7 years, I watched you love someone else. When you started spending time with me after the breakup, I was afraid of ruining everything by moving too fast. I look at the man sitting before me, the man who remembered my coffee order at every family brunch, who listened for hours on the phone when I was heartbroken, who never pushed for more than I was ready to give. Why did you propose tonight? At the same restaurant where Nathan broke up with me? Marcus meets my gaze steadily. Because I wanted to replace that memory with something better. Something that showed you were never just fun to me. You've always been marriage material, from the very first day. The sincerity in his voice makes my chest ache, but there's still too much unresolved, too many revelations spinning in my head. I need time, Marcus. It's overwhelming to learn that your feelings go back 7 years, that your entire family has been watching us like some kind of romantic experiment. He nods, standing slowly. I understand. Take all the time you need. I've waited 7 years. I can wait longer. As he moves toward the door, I call after him. The proposal? Was that your idea? Or did the family suggest that too? Marcus turns, his expression pained. The timing was my decision, but they all knew I was planning to ask you eventually. He pauses. I've been carrying that ring for 3 months. After he leaves, I sit alone in my apartment, trying to reconcile the past 6 months with this new understanding. Every interaction with Nathan's family, with Marcus's family, takes on a different meaning now. I'm not just angry, I'm confused, because despite the manipulation, despite the secrets, when Marcus knelt before me tonight, part of me wanted to say yes. I've been staring at my closet for 20 minutes, trying to decide what to wear to Linda's dinner. Casual enough to pretend this isn't a big deal, but nice enough to show I'm making an effort. Marcus texted 3 times, asking if I wanted him to pick me up, each message more tentative than the last. No pressure, just thought it might be easier to arrive together. I finally text back that I'll meet him there. I need the drive to clear my head, to rehearse what I'll say when Linda inevitably asks about the proposal. What do you tell your ex-boyfriend's mother when her nephew has just proposed to you after apparently loving you from afar for 7 years? When I pull up to Linda's house, Marcus is waiting on the front steps. He stands when he sees my car, hands shoved deep in his pockets. His nervous smile makes my stomach lip in a way I'm not ready to analyze. Hey, he says, approaching as I get out. You look beautiful. I smooth down my blouse. Thanks. I almost canceled twice. I wouldn't have blamed you. He hesitates, then adds, I told them not to make this a big deal. I raise an eyebrow. And how did that go? His grimace tells me everything. There's a cake. Of course there is. The moment we step inside, Linda emerges from the kitchen wearing an apron and a smile too bright to be casual. There you are. We were starting to worry. She hugs me tightly, the familiar scent of her perfume bringing back countless family dinners where I sat beside Nathan, completely unaware of Marcus watching me from across the table. The thought makes me pull back a little too quickly. Sorry I'm late, I say, following her toward the dining room. Traffic was terrible. Not at all, dear. We're just happy you're here. The dining room is full of familiar faces. Marcus's sister Emma, his father Robert, Linda's sister Kate, and her husband. They all turn toward us with expressions ranging from barely contained excitement to awkward sympathy. The table is set with Linda's best china, candles lit, flowers arranged in the center. Wow, I say under my breath. Subtle. Marcus squeezes my hand apologetically. Dinner starts with an uncomfortable silence broken only by the clinking of silverware against plates. I focus on my food, aware of the glances being exchanged across the table. Finally, Emma clears her throat. So, she says, drawing out the word, how are things? I look up. Things are complicated. Because of the proposal? Robert asks bluntly. Dad, Marcus Marcus warns. What? We're all thinking it. Robert turns to me. Did he do it wrong? He practiced, you know. He didn't do it wrong, I say, setting down my fork. He just did it after telling me he's been in love with me for 7 years, while I was dating his cousin, who apparently your entire family decided wasn't right for me. The table falls silent again. Linda refills her wine glass. We never meant to interfere, she says finally. But watching Marcus all these years, it was hard. Hard for you? I can't keep the edge from my voice. Try finding out your boyfriend's entire family was apparently waiting for your relationship to end. That's not fair, Emma interjects. Nathan was going to break up with you regardless. He'd been talking about Brittany for months before he actually did it. Emma, Marcus hisses. What? It's true. Remember when we all voted at Christmas about whether he should end it before or after Valentine's Day? My stomach drops. You actually voted? Linda shoots Emma a warning look. It wasn't a vote, exactly. Oh my god. I push my plate away. This is insane. Marcus looks mortified. I wasn't part of that conversation. No, you were too busy writing letters you never sent, Emma says, then immediately covers her mouth. Sorry. I thought she knew. I turn to Marcus. Letters? He runs a hand through his hair. It was stupid. Just something I did to, I don't know, process my feelings. For 7 years? Not the whole time. Just sometimes, when things were particularly difficult. Before I can respond, the doorbell rings. Linda frowns. Who could that be? We're all here. She goes to answer, and a moment later, Nathan's voice carries from the entryway. My blood runs cold. Where is she? He sounds angry, his words slightly slurred. I know she's here. Marcus stands immediately. I grab his arm. Don't. Nathan appears in the dining room doorway, eyes bloodshot, hair disheveled. He looks at me, then at Marcus, then at the elaborate dinner setup. Wow, he says with a bitter laugh. The family welcoming committee. Did you throw a party when we broke up too? Nathan, Linda says firmly. You're drunk. This isn't appropriate. Appropriate. He stumbles slightly as he moves toward the table. Was it appropriate when you told me I should break up with her because Marcus deserved a chance? Was that appropriate, Mom? Linda pales. That's not what happened, isn't it? Nathan turns to me. They've been pushing for this for years. Did you know that? Every time I brought you to a family event, I'd get cornered afterward. Marcus seems so sad. Don't you think Marcus deserves happiness too? Like I was somehow responsible for my cousin's pathetic crush. That's enough. Robert stands. You need to leave. Nathan ignores him, focusing on me. Did he tell you about the journal? The one where he wrote about watching us together? Ask him about it. Marcus steps between us. Stop it. You're embarrassing yourself. I'm embarrassing myself? Nathan laughs. That's rich coming from the guy who's been stalking my girlfriend for 7 years. Ex-girlfriend? Emma corrects, earning glares from everyone. I stand up, suddenly needing air. I can't do this. Linda reaches for my arm. Please don't go. Nathan is just upset. I'm not upset, Nathan snaps. I'm telling the truth. This whole family manipulated her. They manipulated both of us. Is that true? I ask Linda directly. Did you tell Nathan to break up with me? The silence that follows is answer enough. Linda looks down at her hands. I suggested that if he was having feelings for Brittany again, he should be honest with you. That's all. That's all? I repeat incredulously. And the fact that your nephew was in love with me had nothing to do with it? I just wanted everyone to be happy, she says quietly. Nathan wasn't happy with you anymore. And Marcus had been waiting his turn, Nathan finishes bitterly. Like I was borrowing his favorite toy. It wasn't like that. Marcus protests, but his voice lacks conviction. I grab my purse from the back of my chair. I need to go. Wait, Marcus follows me toward the door. Please, this isn't how I wanted things to be. How did you want them to be, Marcus? Did you think I'd just seamlessly transition from one cousin to another without asking questions? That I'd be so flattered by your 7-year crush I wouldn't care about being manipulated? I never manipulated you, he insists. My feelings were real. Maybe, but this whole situation isn't. I gesture back toward the dining room. Your family had meetings about my relationship. They voted on when Nathan should break up with me, and you let it happen. I didn't know about the vote, he says, his voice breaking. I swear. Nathan appears behind him, swaying slightly. Tell her about the letters, Marcus. Tell her what you wrote. Marcus closes his eyes briefly. They were private, just a way for me to express things I couldn't say. They were creepy, Nathan says. Mom found them when she was cleaning his old room. Read them out loud at Thanksgiving 2 years ago. Everyone had a good laugh about poor Marcus pining away. Is that true? I ask Marcus, feeling sick. They weren't supposed to see them, he says quietly. I never meant for anyone to read them. I push past both of them, heading for the door. Linda calls after me, but I don't stop. Outside, the cool night air hits my face, and I take a deep breath, trying to steady myself. Marcus follows me to my car. Please don't leave like this. I know it's a lot, but we can work through it. Work through what, exactly? I turn to face him. The fact that your entire family has been orchestrating this for years? That they've been watching us like some bizarre social experiment? I love you, he says simply. That's the only part that matters to me. For a moment, I almost believe him. Then Nathan stumbles out the front door, Linda right behind him. You're not marriage material either, he shouts. You're just the consolation prize. I get into my car, hands shaking as I start the engine. In my rearview mirror, I see Marcus standing in the driveway, watching me leave. Linda has her arm around Nathan, who's still yelling something I can no longer hear. 7 years. 7 years of family dinners and holiday gatherings where I thought I belonged, never realizing I was being evaluated, discussed, voted on. 7 years of Marcus watching me, writing letters, waiting for his turn. As I drive away, I wonder how I could have missed so many signs. And worse, I wonder why part of me still wishes I'd said yes when he proposed. I'm staring at Marcus's journal in my hands, my heart pounding. I found it while helping him move some boxes at his apartment, a leather-bound book that fell open to a page dated 3 years ago, right after Nathan and I had celebrated our 2nd anniversary. She wore that blue dress tonight, the one that makes her eyes look like the ocean. Nathan didn't even notice. He was on his phone most of dinner. How can he not see what he has? If she were mine, I'd never look away. My hands tremble as I flip flip through more pages. Years of observations, moments I never knew were being cataloged by someone watching from the periphery of my life. Christmas at Linda's. She laughed at my stupid joke about fruitcake. Nathan rolled his eyes, but she actually laughed. I replayed that sound in my head the whole drive home. Nathan forgot her birthday. Again, I saw her face fall when she realized I wanted to punch him. Instead, I sent flowers to her office anonymously. Linda told me later that she thought they were from Nathan. At least she smiled. I closed the journal, feeling like I've violated something intensely private, while simultaneously having my own privacy invaded. These weren't just casual observations. They were intimate, detailed accounts of moments I'd lived, seen through eyes I never knew were watching so closely. My phone buzzes with a text from Nathan. We need to talk. Coffee tomorrow? I hesitate, then agree to meet him. Maybe it's time to get the full truth from everyone involved. The coffee shop is quiet when I arrive the next day. Nathan is already there, looking more sober and put together than he was at Linda's dinner. He's secured a corner table away from other customers. Thanks for coming, he says as I sit down. I wanted to apologize for the other night. Were you lying? I ask directly. About the family manipulating us? He sighs, running a hand through his hair. No, but I was being an ass about how I said it. I wrap my hands around my coffee cup, needing the warmth. I found Marcus's journal yesterday. Nathan's expression shifts. Ah, so now you know. Did you know? The whole time we were together, did you know how he felt about me? He looks down at his coffee. Not at first, but eventually, yeah. It was pretty obvious to everyone except you. Why didn't you say anything? What was I supposed to say? Hey, by the way, my cousin is obsessively in love with you? He shrugs. Besides, I didn't think it mattered. We were together. He was just Marcus. Just Marcus. I repeat softly. Look, when I started having feelings for Brittany again, the family saw an opportunity. Mom, especially. She's always had a soft spot for Marcus. So they pushed you to break up with me. They didn't have to push that hard, he admits, and the honesty stings more than I expected. Things between us were already falling apart, but yeah, the timing, that was influenced by them. I think about the family vote Emma mentioned. They actually discussed when you should end things with me. Nathan nods slowly. Christmas dinner, 2 years ago. You were in the kitchen with Mom. They thought it would be kinder to do it after the holidays, but before Valentine's Day, and you went along with it. I was planning to break up anyway, he says defensively, but I let them convince me about the timing. And then when Marcus started spending time with you right after, you got jealous. I finish for him. Not jealous exactly, more like blindsided. I knew he had feelings for you, but I didn't expect him to move in so quickly, or for you to respond to it. I think about those early coffee dates with Marcus, how easy it had been to talk to him, how natural it felt. Had I been manipulated, or was there something real there all along? Nathan, did you ever actually love me? He looks genuinely hurt by the question. Of course I did, just not the way Marcus does, not the way you deserve. We sit in silence for a moment, 5 years of history hanging between us. For what it's worth, he says finally, I think he really does love you, probably more than I ever could. I'm not sure if that makes things better or worse. When I leave the coffee shop, I find Marcus waiting outside, leaning against his car. He straightens when he sees me, anxiety written across his face. Nathan texted me, he explains, said I should be here. Of course he did. More family orchestration. I found your journal, I say without preamble. His face drains of color. I can explain. You've been watching me for years, writing down details about me that even Nathan didn't notice. It sounds creepy when you say it like that, he says quietly. Because it is creepy, Marcus. You documented my life without my knowledge or consent. He runs his hands through his hair. I know it sounds bad, but it was never. I wasn't stalking you. I was just trying to process my feelings. By writing about how my dress matched my eyes, or how Nathan didn't appreciate me enough. I'm sorry, he says, and he looks genuinely distressed. I never meant for you to see those. They were private thoughts I couldn't share with anyone. Before I can respond, my phone buzzes. It's Linda, asking if I can come over. The whole family is here. We need to talk. I show Marcus the text. More family manipulation? I didn't know about this, he says, and I believe him. But maybe it's good. Maybe we all need to clear the air. When we arrive at Linda's, the entire family is indeed gathered in the living room. Linda, Robert, Emma, Kate, and her husband. Even Nathan is there, sitting awkwardly on the edge of an armchair. Thank you for coming, Linda says, standing as we enter. We owe you an explanation. All of us. What follows is possibly the most surreal family confession session I've ever witnessed. One by one, they admit to their role in what Emma calls Operation Marcus Deserves Happiness Too. Linda confesses to subtly encouraging Nathan to reconnect with Brittany. Robert admits to deliberately mentioning Marcus's accomplishments whenever I was around. Emma reveals she was the one who suggested Marcus call me after the breakup, even drafting talking points for him. We thought we were helping, Linda says tearfully. We saw how much Marcus loved you, how happy you made him just by being in the same room, and we saw that you and Nathan weren't right for each other anymore. So you decided to play matchmaker with my life? I ask, my voice tight with anger. It was wrong, Robert says firmly. We know that now. We got carried away with the idea of seeing Marcus happy, of keeping you in the family. Keeping me in the family, I repeat, like I'm some kind of heirloom to be passed down. Marcus looks horrified. I didn't know they were doing all this, I swear. But you benefited from it, I point out. You got exactly what you wanted. His face crumples. Not like this. I never wanted it like this. I stand up, suddenly needing to be anywhere but here. I need some space. From all of you. Marcus follows me to the door, panic in his eyes. Please don't leave like this. We can work through it. I'll do anything. That's the problem, I say quietly. You've all been doing too much already. His face falls. Are we over? I take a deep breath. I don't know what we are, Marcus. I need time to figure out what's real and what was manufactured by your family's meddling. My feelings for you are real, he says desperately. They always have been. I look at him, really look at him, and see the man who remembered my coffee order supporter who listened to me cry about his cousin, who never pushed for more than I was ready to give. But I also see the man who wrote about me in secret for years, who benefited from his family's manipulation, who proposed at the same restaurant where my heart had been broken 6 months earlier. I'm going to stay with my sister for a week, I tell him. I need space from both you and Nathan, from this entire situation. He nods, blinking back tears. I understand. As I drive away, I glance in my rearview mirror and see him standing in Linda's driveway, looking lost. Part of me wants to turn around, to tell him everything will be okay, but I keep driving, because for the first time in months, I need to make a decision that isn't influenced by anyone else's agenda. 7 years of being watched, 6 months of being guided toward a relationship I thought was organic, one proposal that was the culmination of a family's long-term plan. I need to figure out if any of it was real, and if it even matters. A week away from both Marcus and Nathan was exactly what I needed. My sister's spare bedroom became my sanctuary, a place where no one was orchestrating my love life or documenting my every move in secret journals. I deleted social media apps from my phone, ignored the mounting texts from Marcus, which gradually decreased as he respected my request for space, and spent long hours walking along the beach near my sister's house, trying to untangle my feelings from the manipulation. So what are you going to do? My sister asked on my last night there, pouring us both another glass of wine. You can stay longer if you need to. I need to face this, I said, surprising myself with how certain I felt. I need to figure out what's real. When I pull into my apartment complex the next day, I spot Marcus sitting on the steps to my building. He stands when he sees my car, but doesn't approach giving me space even now. There's a small bouquet of wildflowers in his hand, nothing elaborate or showy, just simple flowers that remind me of the hiking trails we explored together. I didn't know when you'd be back, he says as I walk toward him. How long have you been waiting? Just about 20 minutes. He offers a hesitant smile. I didn't want to seem stalkerish. The irony of his statement hangs between us. I brought these, he says, holding out the flowers. Not from a florist. I picked them on that trail we hiked last month. I take them, noticing how his hands are dirt-stained. He really did pick these himself. I've been doing a lot of thinking, he says as I unlock my door. I don't invite him in, but I don't send him away either. About everything. About how wrong it all was. Have you heard from Nathan? I ask, curious if the cousins have spoken. Marcus nods. He came by my place yesterday. We talked for hours, really talked, probably for the first time in years. And he's still angry, but I think he understands now that I never meant to hurt him. That your happiness matters more than mine. Something shifts in my chest at his words. Did you mean that? Every word. His eyes meet mine and I see nothing but sincerity. I've spent 7 years loving you from a distance. I can go back to that if it's what you need. I think about Nathan's furious calls, his drunken appearance at Linda's dinner, how quickly his jealousy turned to cruelty. Then I think about Marcus, who has respected my boundaries even when it hurt him to do so. I need to talk to Linda, I say, making a sudden decision. Will you take me there? 20 minutes later, we're sitting in Linda's living room. She looks surprised to see me, but also relieved. I owe you an apology, she says before I can speak. What I did was wrong. We thought we were helping two people who belonged together, but we ended up manipulating everyone involved. You treated me like a prize to be won, I say quietly. Like my feelings didn't matter as long as Marcus got what you all decided he deserved. Linda's eyes fill with tears. I know, and I'm so sorry. I got caught up in seeing how much Marcus loved you, how perfect you seemed together. I convinced myself the end justified the means. It didn't. No, she agrees. It didn't. And if you can't forgive us, forgive me, I understand. I look at Marcus, who has been silent since we arrived. I need to know something. If your family hadn't interfered, what would you have done? He considers this carefully. Honestly, I probably would have kept loving you from afar. I never had the courage to tell you how I felt while you were with Nathan. And after we broke up, I'd like to think I would have eventually found the courage to ask you out properly. He meets my gaze, but I can't know for sure. I've never been very brave when it comes to you. His honesty touches me in a way I wasn't expecting. There's no manipulation here, no calculated response, just the truth, however uncomfortable. I think I need to start over, I say finally, with all of you. Linda looks confused. What do you mean? I mean that I can't erase the past 7 years, or the fact that Marcus has loved me all this time, or that your family manipulated both Nathan and me, but I can decide how I move forward. I turn to Marcus. I want to date you properly. No family interference, no pressure, no expectations based on 7 years of watching me from a distance. Just two people getting to know each other honestly. The hope that blooms on his face is almost painful to witness. I'd like that. 6 months later, I'm sitting across from Marcus at a small cafe that has become our regular spot. It's nothing fancy, just a quiet place with good coffee and comfortable chairs where we've spent countless hours talking, really talking, about everything from childhood memories to our deepest fears. Do you ever think about that night at the Italian restaurant? I ask him, stirring my latte. He winces slightly. The night I made a complete fool of myself? Hard to forget. You didn't make a fool of yourself, I say gently. You just had 7 years of feelings you needed to express. In the worst possible way, he points out. I laugh. It wasn't your finest moment. We've rebuilt our relationship from the ground up over these months. No family votes, no secret journals, though Marcus still writes me letters sometimes, only now he actually gives them to me. No manipulation. Just two people choosing each other every day. I have something for you, Marcus says suddenly, reaching into his pocket. It's not what you think, he adds quickly when he sees my expression. He places a small velvet box on the table between us. When I open it, I find not a ring, but a key. It's to my apartment, he explains. No pressure, no timeline, just whenever you're ready to take that step. I close my hand around the key, touched by the gesture. Thank you for giving me time, for respecting my boundaries. Always, he promises. 3 months later, Marcus takes me to to dinner at a restaurant I've never been to before. Pointedly, not the Italian place where Nathan broke up with me and Marcus first proposed. It's a small, intimate bistro with twinkling lights and a view of the harbor. When he drops to one knee this time, there's no speech about 7 years of watching me from afar. Instead, he talks about the 9 months we've spent building something real together, about how he loves the person I am now, not some idealized version he created in his mind. Will you marry me? He asks simply. Not because my family wants it or because I've waited 7 years, but because I love you and want to build a life with you. This time, when I say yes, it's with complete certainty. Our wedding day arrives on a perfect spring afternoon. Linda has been careful to offer help without overstepping, and the rest of the family has followed her lead. Even Nathan is here, standing awkwardly at the edge of the gathering with Brittany beside him. He approaches me before the ceremony, hands in his pockets. You look beautiful, he says, and I can tell he means it. Thank you for coming, I reply. It means a lot to both of us. Nathan glances toward Marcus, who is talking with his father across the garden. He's a good guy, he admits. Better for you than I was. We weren't right for each other, I say gently. I think we both know that now. He nods. For what it's worth, I'm sorry. For everything, I know. I squeeze his arm. We're okay. As I walk down the aisle toward Marcus, I see the man who remembered my coffee order, who listened to me cry about his cousin, who gave me space when I needed it most. Not the man who watched me from afar for 7 years or who benefited from his family's manipulation, but the man who earned my trust and my love through patience and respect. When Marcus takes my hands in his, I know that what we've built together is real messy and complicated and entirely our own.